WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show.
Yo, what is up? JB Webb here. It is the Reverend over there.
What up?
How are you doing over there?
I'm doing good, man. I'm good.
Right. Good deal. Welcome. It is the JB Rev Show. We are not a stuffy podcast. We're a live internet radio broadcast. We do this on the weekly to make sure that we're getting the opportunity to learn a little bit about our fellow man or woman, dump a little praise on them because they're talented if they're on this show, and they're hardworking if they're on this show. So a couple of little pieces, little criteria there. Typically, to do what we do, it's WJBWnetworks.com. Go find out what we're all about. And this is our 9th season, so hashtag season 9er. It will be going into the May of 2019. So our seasons run September to May. So, and I'll talk to you about that too, because did you notice the holidays fall on Tuesdays this year? So like Tuesday is Christmas and New Year's, so we'll be off. Yeah, so we got to cram in as many shows as we can. Yeah, you need off?
Next week.
Now?
Next week is Tricky.
Oh,
with Perfect Circle. I'll be at that show.
Oh, when does that start?
Next Tuesday.
Oh,
at 7 o'clock.
Okay, because we were also talking maybe about doing the Maxine's thing again, because they're doing another Halloween burlesque thing out there. Yeah, they are. Anyway, we'll figure it all out. All right, we don't want to air it all out here, but on this edition, we have Alan Ebenezer Gilbert. He is
the Scrooge.
A new band called Ebenezer and the Scrooges.
Is that really the band?
It really is.
Oh my God!
So we're going to talk with him. Could be a cool thing. Could be another cool thing. We might be able to kind of bubble in somehow into our War on Christmas.
I like the bubble.
So maybe this year we'll get War on Christmas together with all of our Battle of the Christmas bands.
Yeah.
More fleshed out. Yeah, that's down the line again. So later on in the show,
more towards Christmas,
8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Local Legend Reconnect with Michael Donaldson, a.k.a. Q-Bam. Q-Burns.
Not Q-Bam, it's Q-Bam.
Q-Bam is Q Burns Abstract Message, which was formally his name formally, I guess. But that's how a lot of people know him. He is here in Orlando, has been a valuable resource here, and now has fired up 8D Industries, a new label, to help get like more electronic original music centric stuff out there. So it's really awesome. Yeah, so we're going to be able to talk with him a little bit.
That's cool.
Hear some of recent releases from Monta at Odds. And so there you go. And then breaking news badly will close us out. And you know what? We just might take off next week then. There's normally in the television schedule after the first few episodes, there's like a bye week kind of thing, I guess.
Right.
So maybe we'll just bend to that. But anyway, we do this on the weekly to make sure that we're showing the love. It's original content for you. So spread it, share it, get it out there. We're not going to read a jock strap commercial or whatever it is all those podcasts read. Like, go buy these razors. These razors, I use them on my balls. Right. I mean, we just don't do that kind of thing. Anyway, we do endorse our friends that have businesses, and that's about the extent of it. But I will tell you, I did go to Lucky's Market. Built a Lucky's Market over here, and I picked up the Crybaby, the Gargamel.
Oh, yeah.
Crybaby sauce. Yeah, I was like, here I am. Let me buy it.
Yeah.
Look at it.
And
get a couple bottles. Well, I mean, I love that sauce. That's why I got it. But I'm so happy it's right up the road now. And I like Lucky's. That's pretty cool.
What? Did you get the one by me?
Yeah, right by you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Goldenrod or whatever.
University,
Yeah, so it was a fun experience. First time I guess I've really ever been in one of those. But, you kind of walk in there and you're like expecting strippers and beer.
A little bit, right?
It's just kind of, it's like Lucky's. You think, hey, it's going to be like, hey, what's up?
They kind of got it set up backwards.
It's a grocery store.
They kind of got it set up backwards. You came in the thing. Did you come in by the fruit?
Yeah. No, right in the middle of the front. Yeah, by the fruit.
Okay, so
that's right.
They need to set it up better where you come into the left, because if you come into the left, that's where the cafe is, and that's where the beer is.
Yeah, like switch it up or something.
Yeah, well, you can shop. They've got $2 pints of beer.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, they give you a beer. Yeah, when you're shopping, right?
Yeah,
courtesy beer.
No, it's not a courtesy. It's $2 pint, but it's still.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, but
I didn't do
listen
that.
to this.
I was in and out.
The shopping carts have cup holders.
There you go. That's
Pint
good.
holders.
That's good. They have a little phone charger, too. That'd be great.
They do.
Like that. Oh,
and they're electric.
Okay.
You stand on them and you just...
And they channel. They were made by Elon Musk. They go under the store for quicker access to the
the deli
and dairy department. Yeah.
Right. And then there's a Sky, a cable car.
I don't know what time it is.
Sky thing that goes...
There is no cable car.
But
there you go. Lucky's Market, check it out. They're selling Pocahontas stuff over there. And then so we're going to open up this episode a little bit unconventional. A lot of the times we do not talk about politics on this show. But this year in Florida, there's about a dozen amendments to the Florida Constitution. So I thought real quick, I'm up here on a site. It's called FloridaBallotGuide.com, and I'll share this out there. If you want to get this sent to your phone, you can simply send FL Ballot, all in capitals, to 30644. That's FL Ballot, all in caps.
When are we going to be able to vote like that?
30644. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, when can we vote by my text? Yeah, well,
they're already
subject to all this crap.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, you're right. I guess so. But still, this formal process is important to the sanctity of our
talk about voter turnout,
our union. Don't forget that. So this
Am I taking that back with me?
Well, maybe we'll talk about it.
Right.
This is a real easy to understand kind of wording. Now, bear in mind, all of these responses are kind of this site seems like it was a little bit built by some of these groups. Example: League of Women Voters, ACLU of Florida, Florida National Organization of Women, Council of Jewish Women in Florida, Sierra Club. I don't know what that is. Florida Education Association, and Progressives Florida. So it's a little tilted to the liberal side, but nevertheless, Amendment 1. Okay, small property tax break for some owners of more expensive homes, likely higher tax rates for all, or big cuts to local programs. So they say vote no on that.
Yeah.
And that is their synopsis. So this is not the actual, you'll read it at the voting booth there. But all right, Amendment 2 makes permanent a 10% cap on tax increases from non-homestead properties. So rental properties, second homes, stuff like that. Pretty resounding no.
Who came up with all these yeses and nos on here?
Yeah, well, these are what the groups are voting. You see the groups, it's like a chart. It runs across. So each of the groups, some of them you're not getting any response at all on some of them. But two of them voted no there. All right. So Amendment 3, we got a couple yeses on this one. This requires a citizen-led constitutional amendment to approve new casino gambling. So this is all over the place. We should have the right to vote if there's going to be gambling in our state, I presume.
We should gamble.
But so we don't have that right yet. So that would give us that right. And next one up here, Amendment 4 restores the eligibility to vote for Floridians with felony convictions who've completed their sentence, excluding murder.
That's definitely a yes.
Offense.
And that's even yes all the way across the board.
Yeah, everyone in those groups says yes to that. All right, Amendment 5 requires an almost impossible 2/3 legislative vote to end tax breaks for big corporations or for the state to pay for improving schools or emergency responses to weather or environmental
That's so
crises.
Whack, just the way they've got that set up.
It's no pretty much all the way across the board, but what do you think that one means to end tax breaks for big corporations? So it's to end tax breaks, you say no.
Well, they're all saying no.
Let them all keep their
But listen, no. Listen to how this is requires an almost impossible two-third legislative vote to end tax breaks for big corporations. Right. But they tie this in with it, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
Or for the state to pay for improving schools or emergency response. I mean, what? So it's
they do that down here again.
With the vape.
Like 7, with the oil drilling
really
and the vape. That's pretty whacked out. But sadly, that's how the world works. That's how compromise works. You got to take something. But at any rate, let's keep moving on. Deletes constitutional protections for the accused is Amendment 6. Expands already existing constitutional protections for victims and creates constitutional rights for corporations in our criminal justice system.
No.
Seems like a resounding no across the board on that one. 7 requires universities governing bodies to get supermajority approval for their members to increase student fees or impose new ones. So looks like the ones that voted there said no. Amendment 9. protects Florida's coast by banning oil drilling in Florida's nearshore waters, and it bans vaping inside workplaces. That's not so bad. Actually,
just, why would you put those
inside a workplace? Yeah, you're right. It's not so bad at the end of the day. I'm sure there's other little fine print on that because, again, these are just like a top-level overview, right? So we normally talk about art, music,
So does that mean the vape stores can't smoke in the vape stores?
No, I think there's little provisions besides in those bars and vape stores and stuff like that. It's totally still fine. It's totally still do your thing.
All right.
Because that would be crazy, wouldn't it? Like, yeah, you can't do it, but we're a vape store. What are you talking about?
But yeah, now we're not going to be able to do it at concerts. You know,
but it just says workplaces. But would a concert be somebody's workplace?
Well, yeah, somebody's working.
Mick Jagger?
Yeah, no vaping on stage, buddy. No
all right.
Vape.
So
no stage vaping. We're in a workplace.
Number 10 is requires all Florida counties to elect all constitutional officers, even if their local charters, as approved by local citizens and policymakers, have chosen not to.
What?
So let me try to read that again. Requires all Florida counties to elect all constitutional officers. So right now, I guess they're not elected officials. They're like appointed. Even if their local charters, as approved by local citizens and policymakers, have chosen not to. You see what I'm saying? So it's mandating a right for these counties instead of appointing officials. They got to be elected.
Well, yeah, but everyone's saying no on that. Look at that.
People say no. There's few say no there.
Yeah.
All right. So, again, we don't normally do politics. So, let's wrap this up. 11, 12, and 13.
Just vote yes.
11 looks like a yes. 12 looks like a yes. And 13 looks like a yes. But,
12
let's
looks
talk
like a
about
yes
11.
or
Hold on. Repeals obsolete provisions, including a discriminatory ban on certain Floridians owning property. Allows for criminal justice reforms to apply retroactively.
What does that even mean?
I want to know more about that. ACLU says yes. Florida National Organization for Women says yes. So a discriminatory ban on certain Floridians owning property. So yeah, let's get. Look,
scroll down where it says amendment information and go to amendment 11.
Okay. So go down to it.
Yeah. What's it say there?
Bundles multiple subjects together, repeals a nearly century-old discriminatory provision that allowed the Florida legislature to restrict the property rights of non-citizens. Allows for criminal justice reforms to apply retroactively, thus allowing for ameliorative sentencing reform to apply to incarcerated individuals serving lengthy sentences. I'm sure I didn't say that word right, by the way. That the legislature determines are not warranted. Deletes obsolete language. Wow. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Don't make me read any more of those.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait. 12. Help end the revolving door between public officials and powerful lobbying firms. Hell yeah. Phases out commercial greyhound racing. Here's the big one. Phases out commercial greyhound racing by 2020. That's Amendment 13. So there you go. Basic overview of what you should be researching and voting on and looking into. What do you think about the greyhound racing? What are your thoughts on that? I mean, have you ever been to a dog racetrack?
Dude.
Cockfight?
When I was 18,
yeah,
I was a greyhound dog trainer.
Oh, yep. So this one strikes close to the old...
let me just put it this way. Okay. Those dogs are very well taken care of.
Okay.
They ate better than I did.
Uh-huh.
We love those dogs.
They still do.
Yep. And we certainly never abused them. And they were.
Oh, so you seem like you're coming. I'm on a no on that one.
Yeah.
Like let it ride.
Let it ride.
Oh, okay. Oh, we really are right on time. Look at that. I don't even have to go to a song. All right, so we close that up. Let's bust over our live caller here. Hold on. Let's make sure we got you in here. It's dialed in. Is this our expected caller, Alan Ebenezer Gilbert?
That is.
Rock the house. All right, great. Good deal. Thank you, sir.
Whoop, whoop.
Let me get you. Hold on, Leah. Let me get you. Let me get you in here. Let me bring
get
you
him
up.
in there.
Are you in a windy place?
Slide it
over
in.
there.
Are you in a car like with a window open?
Yeah. Are you in a?
No.
Grab the dollar bills.
I'm driving my car.
Oh no!
So you are driving in your car.
Oh no! Okay. All right. So it'll be fine. All right. Well, be super safe. We just had somebody before that we interviewed in a car, and it did not turn out good. That's episode
They're dead
175. Yeah, don't listen to that one. Anyway, we won't get in your head with that. Just never mind. Anyway, welcome to our humble show here. It is Alan Gilbert, formerly a Stereotype, now forming up a new group, which I guess we'll talk about. But we always like to learn about people's history and music and such. So lay some straight dope on us. How'd you first get involved with music?
Well, I mean, I saw the Foo Fighters live, and I was really young and got really inspired, and then figured out Dave Grohl was in Nirvana, and then loved them a lot more, and wanted to play guitar like him, but didn't want to sing in anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one day I figured out nobody wanted to sing in anything, so I figured someone had to do it. So I've just been yelling ever since.
So okay. Well, that's good. So now you guys, relatively younger group, but Stereotype kind of is morphing into Ebenezer and the Scrooges.
Yes.
So tell us about, are all the same members in the band, new members, or what's going on? Yeah, give us the overview on that, brother.
It's all of the same members. When I wrote the only album that we released as Stereotype, I was really angry and really vicious and really negative.
Yeah.
And when I was writing for a new album, I started to realize that I was being successful and a lot more realistic.
Oh, we lost you.
Hold on. You started to realize what?
Oh, sorry. I started to realize. I'm sorry. I just got caught in my tracks because you backtracked me.
Nope.
Well, we couldn't hear you.
Be safe. The same thing happened with this other guy. Oh, my God. Be safe.
Basically, what I was saying was that I had a more realistic perception, and I was a lot more understanding. So I didn't want to take, this negative substance that I had created and continue with it to try and fix it. So I wanted to do something new instead.
It was more like, let's just get it out there and get it done almost. Kind of vent it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ebenezer and the Scrooges, I mean, that all sounds, is that less, I mean, Stereotype sounds less. So what's the direction with the new band? Give us an idea. What are you guys going to do?
I guess that really what it is I think about the story of Ebenezer and the Scrooges, and how it's the story of starting off being a grumpy old man and turning into a cheery old person. It's really just trying to look for the bright side of things.
Okay.
Okay. And following the story of the Christmas Carol. And we're going to release an EP in February titled The Segregated States of America.
Interesting.
And I guess that what we did first was we decided to take a political standpoint to protect our civil rights. Because, with four guys in a band, we have a lot of different ideas, but that was one thing that we agreed with. And it's one thing that we feel is being threatened every single day in our country right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, talk about that a little bit then. What specifically do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, so I guess I'll go on a personal note. I can't involve everybody in the band on this, but I wrote all of the songs.
Okay.
And we have a song called One Nation,
there you go.
which will be the first single. And I wrote it right after Donald Trump got into office.
Okay.
Oh, so it's a love song.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But,
I just spit out some tobacco juice. Hold on.
Well, I'll tell you what the chorus is. How about that?
Okay.
I'll tell you what the lyrics is.
Okay.
And am I censored? Or
No.
am I allowed to
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
You're uncensored.
Okay. Fuck your point of views on segregation.
Whoa, hold on. We gotta
cause temptation. If you have a problem with women's rights, your moral values must have died. We claim to be free, but this feels like prison. I didn't forget. Fuck your racism. Something here is very wrong. One nation under God.
Wow. All right. So you're going kind of dark and steely, really after the throat. So, yeah, I guess what you're saying is, this whole negative tincture of a guy who seems to have never kind of been held accountable. You kind of want to say, I'm expressing myself in this way, and
Yep.
I think that kind of shit should not be uncensored. So yeah, that's exactly right. And you know what? To your point, a lot of the times, they used to play like protest songs on the radio and stuff like that, and they kind of don't really do that anymore. There's a little bit gone away with that. There's a little bit of that kind of. I think Sunday Morning Coming Down does a great job of raw, authentic Americana, on 104.1. But in saying all of that, I really admire the fact that you're kind of saying, hey, I'm full of angst, but I want to do it in the right way so that it means something, and you're taking a stand for something.
I think that a lot of people are trying to excuse a lot of negative behaviors and are being very hateful.
Yeah.
And something that we need to make sure that we are practicing is peaceful protest, because that is the only way to do it correctly.
Right.
MLK. There you go. That's the only way to make it happen is through peaceful protest. But you too have to be smarter too. You almost have got to get to a point where it's like, let's understand the legislation, and that's exactly what we tried to do before as we opened the show. Is we ran through the amendments we're going to be voting on November 6th, and so I think that's very important. But in saying all of that, we're talking with Alan Ebenezer Gilbert. Sorry, he's out there driving now. Be safe. Don't read us anything else from your phone. Just relax. So you got into music at kind of a young.
Didn't read you any.
Oh, okay.
I think he
driving.
memorized his words.
He memorized. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm imagining him holding up the phone while he's driving. Anyway. Okay. So that didn't happen. Then we have a track from Stereotype. We're going to run into that in a little bit. But man, what kind of other groups out there are you involved with? Other groups as far as political activism or anything like that, or is that something you want to investigate?
I'm sorry, repeat that question one more time.
It was such a weird question.
No, I was just asking if you're also politically active, like in other groups, or are you open to investigating that?
In other words, like, are you part of the KKK?
Not that.
Maybe the Girl Scouts,
no,
some sort of group.
I did live in New York City for a little while. I moved back
Close
2
enough.
years ago.
Close
but
enough.
while I was there, I did protest, and, I did picket things that I thought, like I was there during the election between Clinton and Trump, and, I was very upset. I was also at the JFK airport when everybody in the Middle East was practically being held hostage and being told they're not allowed to fly in the United States anymore. So I did my protesting there.
Wow. Now, see, to experience it firsthand like that, that's crazy. Well, I guess
it was one of the most insane experiences I've ever been through.
So when was this? Like within the last
Tell us
year
why, too.
or so, right?
So give us a little detail.
I moved back 2 years ago, so this was maybe in January of 2016.
Okay.
It was
way back.
Maybe it was in February. It was literally right after Trump's inauguration happened.
Okay. And
I
well, you said it was like one of the weirdest things you were ever a part of. What?
Well, they shut the airport down. They wouldn't let these folks on airplanes. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Because remember, he got in,
and they were even locking people up. They were making it to where people couldn't even leave the airport.
Did his Muslim band, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Muslim band was called Stereotype. No.
I mean, but that's what we've come to is, being hateful and stereotypical, and that was another reason why I got rid of Stereotype as a band name.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
very
it's too much of a
stereotypical thing to do.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. Well, I love that you're going in a new direction, man. Keep blazing forward because as I can recount many times here in Orlando itself, same guy has been in 4 different bands, and you've even got the case like where Brian Chowderkoff has played with everybody in this town,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's always. So I mean the spawn of creativity is always good. So when you get the new stuff, or are you going to do anything Christmas oriented? You had mentioned the Christmas band. So is it
our first show is on December 1st, and it's a Christmas show, which I thought was the most ironic thing in the world.
Wow,
interesting.
Yes, our first show is going to be at Lou's Lounge. I believe that's off of Mills.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's going to be on December 1st.
That's great.
And,
All right.
I'm going to be the Ebenezer Scrooge. I might make a special Christmas Santa hat or something.
Okay.
Nice.
But is the music also flavored to that degree, or is it more you know, is it you going to play some Christmas songs? Somebody wants to hear Christmas tree? I'm trying to fish for something.
I guess that the reason why I called us Ebenezer and the Scrooges is because my birth middle name is Ebenezer.
Straight up. Wow. Okay.
But, I mean, we're not going to be doing Christmassy things. Really what I wanted also is I wanted to make a band name that made people go, what the fuck?
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, something that made people think.
There you go.
Something that
Ebenezer.
people aren't used to.
All right.
So, I mean, but we're going to take our music very seriously. Like, that's the one thing that we're not going to joke around with.
All right. Well, good. Well, rock and roll. Well, we wish you guys a very best.
Hey, have you talked to the Scrooges about that? I think they're kind of pissed off about it. Because that's why that's why they're Scrooges after all.
Scrooge number 2 is a little upset at you.
Be like, fuck that Ebenezer.
Ebenezer, man, taking all the limelight. Okay. Well, send us your stuff when you release it, man. It has been a pleasure to chat with you a little bit. You know, I definitely want to see if you got more time or direction. It's only been a little. You called right, or we were going to queue up a song, but anyway, we've got a track to run into. You Know Who You Are by Stereotype, technically, but you know, how would you say, you know, that you approach music? This is a little bit heavy, but then it's a little bit poppy and light. I mean, it's crisp and cool, and I like the sound of it. But you know, give us a little flavor around what you expect to do with music, kind of coming up here as well.
And don't make it stereotypical either.
Yeah.
Okay, from what you're about to listen to, we are going to be playing quite a bit faster, but I'm not going to be going so heavy with my vocals anymore. Not in the case of not yelling, but screaming is going to be a big no-no whenever I go into the studio from now on. I think that's just a difference in music taste for myself.
So just in the past, like 2 years in, you've kind of changed the direction of your singing style?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I've been listening to a lot more melodic and harmonious things, so you can expect that everything is going to be pretty well understood. But
right on.
You know, I have a.
So, when you, how old were you when you saw the Foo Fighters?
The first time I saw them, I was 15 years old.
Okay. Were you at that time? Were you able to read music, and do you read music now?
I was able to read music then. I stopped reading music when I was 19, so now it's a little bit more challenging. Okay. I'm sure that if I looked at music, I could figure it out, but it would take a while. Okay, right on. Just so Dave Grohl, like you said, kind of inspired you and put you in the motivation. Were you? What did you decide at that time? Did you say you picked up a guitar, or you started playing drums? What instrument did you take to? I asked my Uncle David if I could borrow a guitar because I had 6 brothers and sisters, and I knew that my parents weren't going to give me a guitar. Okay. So I kind of practiced around local music stores for the first couple of years that I played, but I got really good doing that. Okay. And then my Uncle David gave me the guitar that I asked to borrow a couple of years later. So, wow. All right. I love we can hear your blinker. You're taking a lot of lefts or rights, aren't you? Yeah, man. Yeah. I was actually on I-4, but you're connected to my Bluetooth, so it's okay. Okay. All right. I'm not holding anything in my hands or anything. No, I know. You're totally safe, and that's good, I was just remarking that it sounds like we can hear your turn signal. I thought he had gone into the studio and was turning on his metronome. One more thing, and I'll let you guys know this, too, is that Ebenezer and the Scrooges was actually in the recording studio today. Oh, see? And we're going to be back again on Thursday. So you guys can expect a single release probably in December. Well, awesome. You know how we do it, buddy. Yeah, get us the music. We got the Circadian Cast on Thursday nights or the weekend, and we play original music there. So we'll get your stuff going. That'll just keep it coming, man. Yeah. As long as it's good. Yeah, but there you go. All right, so you want to talk us into You Know Who You Are? You want to put any color around this more than you may have already done that? Yeah, I mean, this song I wrote to kind of relate to people that feel like they're trapped in a situation that they really don't want to be in. And as you listen to the song, I want you to think about the fact that I've come to the realization that I can walk away, because that's what I want everybody else to know, is that no matter what situation that you are in, you can walk away from whatever it is that you were stuck in. It's your choice.
Yeah! Rock yeah! There it is. You know who you are. The JB Rev Show. Hang on, we'll be back.
Worth it, no regrets. I've had enough of the nonsense. You're neglecting, degrading. This mental fuck is aging. Why won't this ever go away? Why is this not the time and place? The life of mine that was forcefully taken away. I hope I get my share someday. You brought me back to who I was before, still unaware that I've been tattered and torn. Why'd you have to leave this brutal scar? Something tells me that you know who you are. I'm not waking, I'm shaking. This life is not worth saving. Betray me, then blame me. You need to learn to respect me. Why won't this ever go away? Why is this not the time and place? The life of mine that was forcefully taken away. I hope I get my share someday. You brought me back to who I was before, still unaware that I've been tattered and torn. Why'd you have to leave this brutal scar? Something tells me that you know who you are. I'm done with this excuse of a life. Why the hell do you even waste my time? These are the words I wish I could say, but it felt much better just running in place. Why is this not the time and place? Why won't this ever go away? You were the one that forced me away. I kept myself to
You're listening to the JB Rev Show.
Yeah, that's right. JB Rev Show.
That's right, the
That's
JB
what
Rev
we
Show.
do.
All kinds of originals. So there you go. That was a stereotype.
man.
I like that he's changing his sound.
Yeah.
though. I mean, because that was cool. I liked some of it. It was a little poppy,
Little poppy.
and
Little rocky.
little
rock
I mean, the
pop.
rock pop, the
Yeah.
rock part was
But it
cool.
was good.
and I like,
You
but
know,
it was a good quality
production's
track.
good.
Production was good.
The musicianship is good.
He does have a good voice.
Yeah, he does.
Ebenezer, I like his voice. So look out for them, Ebenezer and the
Have you ever seen
Scrooges.
his cock?
I have not.
Uh-huh.
I have you. That's more. Have you? But
no,
you're
no, I
you're on the
wouldn't
fence
wanna-
about answering a question
wouldn't wanna
about
see
seeing
that.
a man's penis.
So
What?
good. No. I'm cool, man.
No, you have not.
I'm married. I'm
wow,
married.
you're not answering the question, Trump.
I have not.
It's a little scary.
Seen Ebenezer's
Not
cock.
answering the question.
I don't
Okay.
want to.
Yeah, don't
I'm
do
I'm
it.
Lee Scrooge about
Just
that.
as you. Yeah. Okay.
So
You're gonna be
let's
Scrooge about that.
let's talk about
wait.
what's going on next week.
Oh, I wish
man.
I had my old
We're
drop
taking
set up.
taking a week off.
So you want to take a week off?
Yeah, let's do
next
it.
week. Let's take a week off. It's Halloween on Wednesday. I was going to try
Oh,
to put
yeah.
together a live remote or something like that, but we'll save some of that for the holiday season. This year I do want to concentrate. Even though I thought Ebenezer would have been a great candidate for us
Yeah.
to work with, but we want to work with the
I know the elves,
Bad Santa and the Angry Elves,
Yeah.
and
and of course
the Yelves.
yeah, that's right.
For a
Sunderland.
war on Christmas
Mark
at
Sunderland.
Frosty's.
Yeah,
We have fortunately this year made all the right connections. We had this idea last year. We couldn't put it all together in time. This year, we're thinking War on Christmas at Frosty's, Battle of the Holiday Bands.
yeah. The
That
JB
would
Rev
be an
Show
event.
presents.
We would present an event. So we're going to try to put that
Be our
together.
first event
There you go.
ever.
Communicate
We
with
tried to
us.
do it last year.
Well, we've done so many events because we broadcast live from places.
Yeah, well, I got to say, so I was at the market, Will's Affair.
Okay.
And the Scotch conversation.
Oh,
with Scotch.
Peter?
Yeah, he had a tent set up.
Yeah. He has his little thrift store, like mobile little thrift store. He's got all retro clothing and stuff like that. You didn't know that?
Oh,
That's his
no.
main
No, but he actually had a tent just set up for
Deal.
the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I was sitting there with two chairs over, under tent, talking.
Fantastic.
I didn't have much. I didn't have time to
Stop by.
Yeah.
He didn't invite you.
I
Were you offended?
No, not at all, dude. I didn't have time to. I didn't even, But I noticed that he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff there. Ended
I
up buying
love
a couple
that
records from
concept.
two different vendors, and then
Yeah, I love
Tommy
that.
Mott had a thing set up. Saw Jessica Polly, saw a friend of mine, Fallon was there with Etu Boutique.
Have you connected with Frankie? Are you going to help him do State of the Scene? Did you listen last week? Did he get a show off? Or
I didn't. Did you?
I did not. I was curious about that because we were in there a couple weeks ago,
Right.
and we kind of, life happens and all this and that. But
Right.
we do a show here every week, and it's like, let's just make sure we can get everything all scheduled. But yeah, I didn't think about that. Anyway, I'm sure they've got it undercover. But
I'm sure,
maybe
man.
you should
Frankie's,
recheck into that to see what you can do to help out. Because if you can go over there once a month or something like that,
Yeah.
WPRK, do your thing. Plug us over here.
Yeah. So you want to hear something? And it's kind of a
I do.
kind of a secret.
Okay.
So
I do.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
So there's two Orlando DJs that both had a show on and I'm not going to give too much information because it's kind of under the wraps until we have a meeting about it.
Well, okay, well, don't jinx it by telling us
Well, I'm not
on air.
I'm
Okay,
just going to
'cause
say
nobody
that
listens,
it's a
so
great idea.
We're safe.
That's
right. I
And
forgot.
it's on a big. If it works out, it'll be great. But I'll be the host, and the two of them will be the DJs.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Is this on? Okay. So you tell me later.
yeah. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I'll tell you. But
So what does that mean? Be the host, just doing the talk,
yeah, just talking.
the talks,
Basically,
in
yeah,
between?
bantering, and then we've got sponsors where they'll be bringing in artists as well, and we'll banter back and forth with the artist.
So okay.
And that's
where they'll be bringing in, artists as well. And we'll banter back and forth with the
what's that?
the artist.
Oh, that's the streaming.
What?
That's okay.
That was me. I just am telling you.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, I hope that
As well. Banter back and forth with the what's that? The artist. Oh, that's the streaming.
What?
That's okay.
All right.
All right, then.
Okay.
That's a good little trick you got.
Little punk rock fun time. Happy
Yeah.
fun time with you.
Happy
There you go.
fun time.
That's our live feed. We're always live. We do everything together in one little piece of a show just to make sure that you're able to digest it all. So coming up here in a little bit, conversation with Michael Donaldson. And this guy, to me, is just so impressive, man. Q Burns, Abstract Message. You may know him as out there. And he really is forerunner of a lot of stuff going on in Orlando here. Now, because of house music being so big at the time, his unique style was kind of not as appreciated, I would say, as it really could have been.
Right.
I mean, I think Orlando loved the crap out of it. Remember Peacock Room, those nights there?
No, never heard of it.
Okay.
Come on, Queso? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the luchador masks.
Yeah.
I mean, many great events that he's been a part of.
Bring wrestling masks tonight.
You really did?
Yeah.
You have a luchador mask
I
or
have
whatever?
two of them, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was the queso
You
parties.
do?
What was
Why aren't we wearing them? Why aren't we getting
Dude,
pictures
that's
with
what
these
I know. That's
damn
what I,
wrestling masks?
Man.
What's the matter with you?
I'll just, you know what? I'll put one on Dana, and I'll just say it's you.
Pay for everything. Oh, that sounds fair. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Look at JB with pretty titties.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I
Don't
forgot.
bring up my body dysmorphia on air.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I like that picture. That's nice.
You do?
Yeah, it's a picture of you. I mean, you're obviously naked.
No, it's a random.
You're naked
it's a
there.
random
I'm not talking
Google
about that.
art
I'm
and
taking
culture.
Of this penis pic right here.
No, well, you're looking at a dick pic again.
Well,
this
that's-
is the second time in the same episode that
Well, I was
you're,
Ebenezer
you're
before.
making a dick pic reference.
And I know that before it was live. It wasn't a picture. It was what happened, His uncle loaned him a guitar and said, take a look at
I'm
this.
going to go live on Instagram right now.
Take a
just
look at
try
this,
to
will
mix
ya?
this up.
You
Hold
want
on.
to strum on something?
Hold on.
Take
Can
a
we
look
just
at
mix this
that.
up? All right, let's see. Can I just
You
go
wanna take a
video?
look at this?
Can I
Play-
just
you
go?
wanna loan
Okay,
something?
there's the
You
Reverend.
wanna-
Press and hold.
Yeah,
All right.
right
Hey,
there.
it's the Reverend. We're
Hey,
in studio. There he is.
what's
across
going
the
on with
way.
that?
All right. And
So you would.
I'm doing an Instagram story or whatever
Right.
the hell this is. What is this?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh, he's got a rainbow shirt on.
I'm surprised you a rainbow shirt.
He does.
Yeah, I'm surprised that flip phone can take video.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
I mean, what is that? Like a IS2
yeah,
electric boogaloo?
Motorola.
I see the breakdance guy on there.
All right, let's see. Can I just publish that? All right.
I don't know. Let me see
There
it.
you go. No, I'm just
No.
publishing it.
Okay.
There we go. All right. I'm just going to tag you out. There you go. And
Well,
okay.
this has been a
Share
good
it.
show.
Boom. There you go. I just did that. There you go.
We'll see. What
So my ping is going down. Hey, ping, don't go down.
What?
Hold on. All right, let me do this. We're going to be talking with Q Burns, Abstract Message, about what is it? 8 o'clock hour or so. So give me a moment here. I got a couple of tracks off of one of his recent releases for Monta at Odds, and I think giving you a little bit of a sample, a preface into the call, would be good to do. So let's make that happen. Let me cue this up here. Hold on. The Rev, you over there? You okay?
Yeah, man,
All
I'm good.
You're
Good
all
to
right?
go.
You
Yeah,
just
buddy.
stopped talking all of a sudden?
No, man.
Okay. No,
I'm
man.
golden. Golden girls.
I'm losing the internet. Okay, I got it back. Oh, no, I'm losing it again. Why do I keep losing it? Is it because of this? Are you for real? Hold on a second. Let me go to this track. Hold on. We'll be back with a conversation with Q Burns, Abstract Message, Michael Donaldson. It's the JB Rev Show.
JB Rev Show.
Pressing the wrong buttons. No, that's the one we already played. Okay, this one. Oh. Monta at Odds. We'll be back. The JB Rev Show.
You draw me near, dazzling with your auroral smile.
You're listening to the JB Rev Show.
Oh, some people are into that. I know there's a website.
Golly!
Yeah.
Welcome back. Hashtag Trudat. Sorry, edition. This is our undying effort to make sure that we're, giving you a clean, clean line of sight.
We're never going to die doing this?
A clean line of sight. Not today. A clean line of sight into great people here, especially in Orlando and abroad, that are really busting their ass doing great things.
Yep.
And this week, we spoke with Alan Gilbert, and so that was really cool. Yeah. Now we have a gentleman queued up here that's way more seasoned, right? Very well known in Orlando.
Yeah.
No, way more seasoned.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I interviewed him as a local legend, I think about 5 years ago. So it's a huge honor for me to welcome back to our humble little production here, Michael Donaldson, formerly Q-Burn's Abstract Message, you may know him as, but welcome to our humble little endeavor here, my friend. How are you doing? Thanks for giving us some time to reconnect with you.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I prefer. I think I'm more spicy than seasoned, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
like a spicy cheese,
a lightly
like a
dusted,
queso.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like
There
a
you
Gouda.
go. There you go. All right. Well, good. Yeah, they put ecstasy in Gouda, I heard. Anyway, all right. So there's total non sequitur. All right. Michael, man, you have a storied career, and when I say storied, I mean, one artist that I love is Lisa Shaw, and I know that
Me too.
Yeah, you worked with her. Was it 20 plus years ago or something with this on, dude? And I just gobble that stuff up, man. Your Spotify profile, and that's like why I put it out on my blog, because I'm like, check this guy's total history out. Because your work has been amazing over the years, man. And again, what I love about you is that you're so unique. You don't bend to this or bend to that. You don't say, oh, no, I'm selling out for this, selling out for that. Your stuff is raw, authentic, and that's what we love here. But again, man, thanks for, honestly, giving us a little bit of time. But, if you want to encapsulate a little bit of your past for our audience, maybe who's kind of catching us up now with the live audio stuff we're doing. Give us a little 10,000-foot viewers. Last 88, what was it, 87? You landed your first deal.
Like a weird history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like a resume.
Unawkward.
Let's see. I was a punk rock kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still a punk rock kid because everything I do is sort of how can I do it myself? How can I
DIY?
Just kind of do it DIY, kind of keep control.
Yeah.
And I originally got into electronic music and house music in the early 90s just because it reminded me of punk rock, because it was basically a homegrown industry and people just doing it for themselves. And back then, and this has changed, but back then, like, the DJs weren't the stars of the show. They were just part of the party and the facilitators.
Right.
And so I was very attracted to that as a punk rock kid. So that kind of got me into electronic music and DJing and producing and doing all that stuff. So that evolved into the Q-Burn's Abstract Message persona.
Okay.
Which worked out pretty well. Did a few records for Astral Works. Played in Siberia.
Huge label back then. Astral Works.
Yeah, so you played in Siberia. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I don't know if this is true, but a promoter in Russia told me that supposedly I'm the first American ever touring American to perform in Siberia.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
So, and supposedly I would have been the first Western, but someone beat me by 1 month, someone from England.
Wow.
I see. Oh, wow.
Bloody Brits.
They don't got a lot of, they don't let a lot of people in Siberia.
So I got a quick question for you, Michael. Did you grow up here in Orlando? Did you go to high school here?
So this is my weird story. Is I was actually born in Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can actually see the lights of the hospital that I was born in right now.
Nice. Okay.
Where I live now, which is kind of weird. But I actually grew up in Louisiana. I was here for the first 5 years of my life, I guess.
Okay.
I have no memory, but supposedly I was at the opening day of Disney World.
Really? Oh, wow.
Well, all right.
That's exciting.
But yeah, grew up in Louisiana and then ended up back here to be a part of UCF's film program when they were starting that, which ended up being kind of a disaster for me, but long story. But it got me here and started me on the path to play in Siberia eventually.
So the reason I was asking is when you moved back here, you were in college going to UCF, so you were 18, 19 years old then?
Yeah, probably 19, I think. Yeah,
and so
or 20.
You were a punk kid. Was that the like 86, 85? Were you part of like the punk scene here, like in Winter Park, like the Rollins College? Like there's a
there
massive
was like a
punk
place
scene.
up from where
like
St. Matthews is now
yeah.
on that road where St. Matthews
right.
is.
Were you part of any of that? I mean, did you go to the shows like the Warehouse?
I went to a lot of that. I mean, when I say I was a punk rock kid, I mean, yeah, I was a punk rock kid.
Right.
But I'm being very loose with that.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I was a punk rock kid. I mean, when I was a teenager, I was all over the SST Records bands, like Black Flag, and Minutemen, and all that.
Yeah,
I mean, Minutemen still are my favorite band of all time ever.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, but
that's awesome.
But I was like, I had a little punk band in Louisiana.
Okay.
And kind of my thing, and I was actually the singer of the band. Okay. And kind of my thing was like, I'm not going to dress like a punk because that's just another uniform, man.
Right. I'm not a sellout, like Doc Martin, fuck you, man.
That's what I love about that.
Yeah. So, it was kind of like that whole thing. So that's kind of, I mean, but when I look back, that's sort of guided my life and like everything I do, where it's like, I guess it's the Groucho Marx, I guess his quote is, I don't want to be a member of any club that would accept me.
Yeah, no, and that's what I meant by unique, original. You refuse to bend to whatever societal little groups or committees that there are, and I admire that spirit because that's the very spirit this damn country was founded on. Cuba for president. All right, thank you. Good night. All right, there we go. Anyway, talking with Michael Donaldson, formerly known as the artist formerly known as Q Burns, or Orlando's Prince, if you will. And but anyway, that's a high title. I know. Local legend. We'll stay with that. All right, we don't want to get anybody riled up, but yeah, dude, your history is really phenomenal. So I guess in saying all of that, you moved up kind of through the ranks in doing that. And how'd you kind of stoke upon that record deal or keep us on the linear track if I'm getting out of turn?
You mean with Astroworks?
Right.
Well, I mean, it was 98, 97, 98. And if you remember back then, electronic music was huge.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how grunge was huge in 92 and all the big labels were just signing every grunge band left and right.
Right.
And it was kind of like that in 97, 98. And I put out a couple of 12 inches that did okay. And this one label that I put a 12-inch out with in San Francisco, they weren't going to pay me in advance. So I told them instead of because they weren't going to pay me in advance, they had to give me 50 copies of the record.
Okay.
Which they did, and then I just sent the record to a bunch of record labels.
Wow.
Because I figured record labels are just, I mean, we're talking mid-90s, so I figured record labels
just
are
hungry.
all getting cassettes
they're
and
all
CDs.
Good point.
But the way I looked at it, a lot of the people who run these record labels or A&R at these record labels are also DJs. So if they get a record in the mail, they're going to be like, holy shit, check out this record. So the A&R guy at Astroworks is one of the persons I sent the record to.
Nice.
And he was from Tampa originally, and he was back home visiting Tampa, and I was over in Tampa doing a gig, and he showed up and called me the next day and said, hey, you want to do a deal?
Damn.
So it was pretty simple.
Yeah.
It was super organic.
Well, yeah, because the scene was ripe for it, right? So for
the right kind of music too, though.
But that doesn't downplay your chops, though,
right,
brother.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Don't be so humble. But I got you. Yeah. Okay, so perfect kind of melody, everything synchronous, everything serendipitously worked together, and this all happened, which is an amazing thing, and that is, go ahead, pin that up for me.
Who, me?
Yeah,
what did he say? No, I was talking to the Rev.
Oh my God! Yeah, you kind of lost me.
His first album, Feng Shui, the cover of Jenny. That had so many great tracks on it. That Solar Car. I remember. Oh, I'm not even looking at it. Anyway, hold on. I'll get it up here right in front of me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. All right, but back to Michael. So right then and there, you're like, hey, this is just instantly happening for me.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, they were great. I mean, they were a great label. They let me do whatever I wanted, which was fantastic.
That is.
I mean, in some ways, like, there are some things looking back, I'm kind of like, I wish they hadn't let me do that. But right. For the most part, it was pretty cool.
And dude, Astroworks.
Yeah, I mean, I basically made the records and turned them in, and the first record they did say, well, these 2 songs we think you could do better.
Oh, really?
That was basically as far as they went, as far as telling me what to do. Is they're just like, try maybe make these a little better.
What do you think?
I was like, okay, cool. Okay. But no, they were great. They were a great label to be with. I think they're a very different label now. I don't know anyone there anymore, but I mean,
are they still a label? Like, are they still around?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, they're still around. I think they're not just electronic now, though. From what I hear, I think they could do all sorts of music.
Aren't they like up in like North Carolina or something like that?
No, they were New York based.
Okay.
They were part of Caroline Distribution at the time.
Oh, that's what yeah.
Remember
that's
that?
Yeah, okay, that's what North Carolina. Yeah. So let's talk about the endeavors that you're starting now, and with the label and where you're going with this now.
Yeah. So I'm not completely done recording.
Okay.
Who knows?
Well,
I think slowed down because I'm focusing more on the.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, Michael, but I guess it goes with without note. Since about the 90s, you created Eighth Dimension, the label itself. And then over the years,
and Eighth Dimension came before. Actually came before Q-Burns.
And that's
We actually.
Okay.
And then
because we actually started that, and then it was sort of like, I guess I need to come up with a name for this project.
So and then from there, it kind of split into 8D Sync, and what's the other one?
Yeah, it's just I don't know what the deal is with the eight thing. I mean, this is kind of a true story. Is the Eighth Dimension? The name of the label was we had this old record that we thought was funny called "Sound in the Eighth Dimension" from the 50s.
Okay.
If you Google that, it'll come up and you'll see the cover, which actually we stole the cover as our logo. Just I think we might have just been a little lazy on that. But then it was pointed out to us after we started the label. That in Buckaroo Banzai, they're traveling to the Eighth Dimension.
Okay.
Okay.
So we thought that was a lot cooler, so we started telling people we were named after Buckaroo Banzai.
Nice.
Oh, see,
where did you come up with the Q-Burns abstract message? How did you come up with that?
I have no idea. I seriously don't. Well, I do know. I know part of it because I started in radio, and back when they used to play records on radio stations, back in the 1850s.
Right.
Yeah.
The place where you would cue a record all the time would get a scratchy sound.
Okay.
So you'd hear on radio stations when they would play a record, the beginning would be like, and it would be like, and that's called Q-Burn. And I thought that would be a really funny name for
that's
a DJ.
Dope. Yeah, that's great. Oh, that's a great question. I guess I never asked that before. Yeah, talking with Michael Donaldson, a.k.a. Q-Burns, and we just learned the story there of how that name was generated, which is a brilliant stroke.
But the Eighth Dimension,
where were we
Buckaroo
going?
Banzai.
Yeah, so Eighth Dimension, he was going to that. He kind of split it into two different dimensions moving forward, and now
it's 8D.
Right now, you can go to 8dindustries.com and check out what he's doing right now. But yeah, we're talking with Michael Donaldson, learn a little bit about the history of kind of his track. So where were we? Bring us back into where we were.
Well, we went from Total Request Live to TRL, and then went from Q-Burns to Eighth Dimension to 8D Industries.
We're retaining. I'm so impressed. Jerry is retaining. That's good. The Reverend. All right.
So that's where we left off.
All right, Michael. Thanks for dealing with our shenanigans over here. Do you remember where we were at? Where were we at? I forget.
Well, I guess where the Eighth Dimension sort of evolved into more industry kind of stuff. Because I just started getting more and more as I was running Eighth Dimension after I left Astroworks, or I got kicked out of Astroworks. Either way, I started running more and more of Eighth Dimension behind the scenes, and I ended up quite enjoying the being the man behind the curtain, and kind of
nice
running things and getting into the industry. So basically what happened is I got very much involved in industry stuff during the 2007 crash, because DJ gigs weren't really happening anymore. And
right.
And so it was kind of like, well, I know how to run a record label, so why don't I help other people run their record labels?
Smart.
And got to do a bit of that, and doing some rights management and music publishing.
Interesting.
If people out there know what all that is.
Yeah.
And
it entails a lot.
So I was doing a lot of consulting for labels and artists that were starting up, and I still do a little bit of that.
Okay.
But there were a few artists that I was working with that were self-releasing, and great, fantastic artists. And at the same time, a couple of them approached me and said, "We're tired of self-releasing. We'd like to find a label. Can you help us find a label?" And I said, "Sure." And I don't know if you get the reference, but I pulled a Dick Cheney on him.
Yeah.
So
I know that this one label. It's got these
Halliburton.
8 dimensions. And
Well, basically, I was hired to help them find a label, and instead I signed on my own label.
There you go. Okay.
As opposed to being hired to find a vice president and then making yourself vice president.
Right.
That's the reference for.
Oh, no, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yes.
It's been a very political show.
This is a
I had to
very
explain it to the
political show.
youngsters.
Yeah, no, explain it to them, please. But so then Eighth Dimension, that's kind of where that little piece, comes from. So then you're saying, hey, if I can help you grow what you're doing, then let me create kind of a way to do that. You're exactly right. And I like the word punk rock, because I was out with my wife with my punk rock barbecue that I'm like making work. And I think punk rock should be equivalent to making shit work. So it sounds and works okay and like it should, because I mean, so that's kind of how I use.
I try to keep some of that. Like one thing with the label that I'm doing is all our downloads are name your own price, and it's going to be that for the label.
Okay.
Obviously, all the releases,
Wow.
all the releases are streaming, and there's vinyl you can buy. Yeah. But if you want to download it, if you want to download our music, then you go to Bandcamp and you can put in $0 for your price and get it for free. And we don't care, because we just want to get the music out there. We want people to hear it.
See, that's great.
So that's kind of one thing that I guess you could say that's kind of punk rock. I don't know.
No,
I think it
that's
is.
Something that, and it's cool because the artists there's 3 artists that are signed to the label right now, and all of them I'm like, you got to know we're going to give free downloads. People can give a price if they want, but they might say 0, and everyone's like, no, that's great. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
We just want people to hear our music.
Right,
so,
exactly. And to have a platform to get it on and have it on our devices. Well, it'd be even more punk rock is for me to get one of these tracks and pay $20.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know what? That the thing is, a lot of people do that.
Exactly.
I mean, not everyone does that, and it's fine. I mean,
but
I'm totally sincere when I say I want people to just hear the music and have the music.
Right.
But yeah, people will be like, okay, here's $2, or some are even like, here's $10, and that's great.
Mentality, though, Michael, brings up exactly kind of what we do here. There's a bunch of people all across this country trying to harvest music. So if they can get it for $1 or $2, and it's really great stuff, and they re-air it on their broadcast or what they're doing, because there's a lot of people out there doing podcasts, doing music stuff, doing internet radio. So yeah, I mean, I think that's you're tapping the reed of what's going on in the world really well. So I think that's a smart move, and it's 8, the number 8, the letter D, the word industries.com, and that's the primary site. You can go check out the work of Michael Donaldson. And so tell us, who are the few artists that you're starting up here with? You mentioned, I think, 3 of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll save the one that's out now for last.
Yeah.
But we've got an act called San Mateo.
Yes,
and they're from Kansas City, and it's I guess I described it as kind of like a Boards of Canada Tycho.
Oh wow,
artist.
Nice.
Okay,
really good stuff.
I love both
so
those.
He's got a release next year, and then this guy from Nashville named Terry Grant, who I actually know from my DJ days because he used to DJ, and he's got a project now called More Ghost Than Man. That's like really spooky music. In fact, have a release from him coming out in November, and we really should have put it out on Halloween because it is some spooky shit.
Yeah, wow.
And it's like just dark instrumental kind of pseudo soundtrack, very, very bizarre stuff. And he's a filmmaker too, so he's making movies for all his songs. He kind of is doing it in reverse. Rather than creating the movie and making a soundtrack for the movie, he's making the soundtrack first and then making the movie around the music.
Interesting.
Wow.
And then the one that just came out last Friday is also from Kansas City, a band called Manta at Odds. And they've been around since 2000, 2001. It's two brothers are the core of the band. And they're very much like kind of like an LCD sound system, Stereo Lab, very trippy. They're really into psychedelic music, so it's all spacey and a lot of tape echo. And that release came out Friday. The album's called Argentum Dreams, and people are digging it. We're really happy.
Well, we played a track before we started this conversation, and I think that was You Draw Me Near. And when we pin this thing up, we're going to close with that very track, the self-titled track from the album Argentum Dreams. And right now we're talking with Michael Donaldson. Dude, I would so appreciate the fact you were able to give us some time, man.
Totally.
I know you're super busy and with Just Cause, but was there anything kind of in closing before we roll into this track? And, maybe we'll close it. And then if you want to give us an old school radio intro into this track, we'll do it.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, we'll put you on the spot. That's what we do. All right, so
I started in radio, like I said. So
there you go. Yeah. So, what was your first gig in radio? Did you do a lot of talking? Was it just playing music, or were you comfortable with those little interludes in between?
I played mostly music, but I did a lot of very cynical, jerky, kind of talk in between songs, sort of making fun of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, in Louisiana, I was on a station, and then for a short. Terrible while I was actually music director at UCF back in the early 90s.
Really?
Wow.
And then I had a WPRK show for about 4 years.
Okay.
After that. So lots of radio.
Yeah. So and that's what's great about you, man, is again, you've really got that do-it-yourself spirit. So if there are people listening to this and maybe they have your vibe, I mean, can they go? Are you just open to just random submissions? You ideally, I'm sure, just want people going to 8dindustries.com and just submitting stuff. Are there forms there where they can kind of reach out to you? They have consults there, I saw. But, what's the best way? Is it to go to that site, or what's the best way for people to kind of interact with you, even if they're maybe just trying to vet out, like, hey, are you interested in my sounds? Can they send you music, or what do you suggest?
Yeah, I think sure. I mean, the first thing I would say that's super important is please listen to what I'm putting out.
Okay,
and
right.
Make sure that what you're going to submit is somewhat in the same zone.
Right, no doubt.
I gotcha.
Okay. Because there's nothing more annoying for a person who runs a label is to get music from someone who's obviously never listened to the label.
Yeah, they're just blindly submitting.
Yeah, here's my blues rock song.
Just sending a bunch of records out to a bunch of different labels.
Well, a more tailored approach. So kind of like exactly like the example he gave us with
his record.
Astral. I'm targeting you.
Right.
So kind of like that is wholly welcome. Okay.
Yeah, listen first. I mean, I love hearing music. I love checking stuff out. So I would say, honestly, I think the Facebook page would be the best way to reach. Would be to go to the Facebook page, just search AT Industries, and it'll come up. And just send me a message on there with a link to where I can hear it online, like a private SoundCloud link or something like that. And that'll work great. And if you want to, if you like the page before you send the message, then I'll be extra attentive when I listen.
They'll be more likely to communicate with you. There you go. It does not like the page asking a question. Just move that to the side. Yeah, totally understand that vibe. But talking with Michael Donaldson, man, dude, Local Legend interview I was able to do like 2013, I think, man. It's been such a long time. But anyway, I guess before I get all fanboy out, let's real quick, before we go into the song, just indulge me, working with Lisa Shaw. I love that woman's sound. Now, you were able to produce an album with her, basically, with some other co-joiners kind of at the time. But, you know, how did that all happen?
Well, I had the vision for the album Invisible Airline where I wanted it. At the time, there were a lot of albums coming out with electronic albums where people were having guest vocalists, and they would have like a different vocalist on every song.
Okay.
And I wanted to do something different where I wanted to have a guest vocalist, but I wanted the same vocalist on pretty much every song. Just
makes
to be
sense.
Different.
Okay.
And I was trying to think of who I would want, and there was this song called, oh God, I can't remember the name.
That's okay. That's okay.
I can't remember. It was like an old 12-inch, and she sang on, and on a New York label, and I can't believe I'm spacing.
Yeah,
on
like
it.
Naked
but anyway,
Music or something like that.
I heard this 12-inch, and I was just like, oh my God, that's the voice. And I actually didn't know anything about her at the time, and I reached out and contacted her, and she lived in New York at the time, and I was going to New York all the time because that's where the label was, Afterworks. Yeah. And we met up and hit it off, and sealed the deal.
Remarkable. Well, kudos.
And she came down here and stayed down here for 2 weeks, and we recorded, and she wrote all the melodies and all the lyrics. Wow. And she even sat at the computer and like edited her vocal comps on her own. It was like the best person to work with ever. Wow.
Yeah. Well, and people go check that out. It's Invisible Airlines. Hold on. Invisible
Airline. Yeah, Invisible Airwaves was the online radio
show. That's what I was getting. Yeah, so was that like a derivative, the Invisible Airwaves? I know you did that for a little while, and we're kind of jumbling it all up in the end, but I'm a dorky geek fanboy, so bear with me.
I know, you're asking me about song titles
out near the
on
end.
Like, an album from 20 years ago.
I won't dork out on you.
Are you kidding me right now?
Let's keep it clean. I love your sound, brother.
Yeah, of course.
Let's just kind of pin it up there. All right, then. So let me do this. I got this track.
This is the Reverend here. JB Rev Show here. I just got to say, I think every nun needs a synth. Is basically all I have to say about that.
Yeah, this is true. It's very true.
It is, right, Michael? So I mean, and that being said, I mean, what do you understand that what they can do with those sounds, like the nuns,
they can absolve you with those sounds.
I guess
they can tithe you. They can tithe those sounds.
JB ran out of the room right there, so I was just like,
he was being so stupid.
Because he knows exactly
Michael Donaldson we have on the line, sir. Show a little respect over there.
He knows what I'm talking about. See, JB doesn't understand.
I just came.
It's kind of
he's baiting me. Oh, this is
a private joke.
He's baiting me
on his page. There's there's just what I said, that every nun needs a
nun
synth.
Playing a synthesizer. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, now he's so fanboyed out over there that it made him so nervous that he's like,
shut up, the Reverend.
Okay.
He's got rainbows on his shirt.
So we're talking with Michael Donaldson here.
Anyway, okay, all right.
8D Industries.
8dindustries.com. That's
right.
the site. Go there. Search it on Facebook. Can we what?
Can we what?
Can we what?
I don't know. Can we what?
Oh, all right. That's not working. All right, never mind. Anyway, Michael, hang on the line. We're going to run.
We're going to have him intro his own
Dreams. Yeah, Argentum Dreams. Am I saying that right? Argentum.
You know what? This is admission for an exclusive admission for your radio show.
Awesome.
I have no idea.
Nice.
Okay.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. There we go. All right. So, Argentum Dreams. Give us a little roll into this track. The
let you intro
artist, you had told us a little about Monta at Odds, but fill us up. We'll run right into this. Hang on the line with us, and we'll bust this out the right way.
All right.
So go ahead. That's your cue there, buddy.
Oh, me.
Come
God.
on, Mr. Radio.
Hey, this is Argentum Dreams, or Argentum Dreams. Or Argentum Dreams from Monta at Odds. It's a song inspired by science fiction writers like Isaac Asimov and Philip K. Dick, and has very spooky, mystical lyrics. So I hope you'd like it.
There you go. Awesome. DJB Rev Show. Check it out here. That's it.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show.
Oh, yeah. It's the JB Rev Show. Man, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
What a great conversation.
Yeah. Michael, he's a shit. I mean, he is super, something I didn't go into, but he's super smart, you know?
Well, yeah.
And
I think that's a great point. He's super intelligent. He's super smart, and he understands this whole music industry. He's gone through all these paces, done all this stuff, and it's all been like his own custom crash course into everything, you know, and that's what I love, the spirit about him. So when he described things as punk rock and it, this and that, I think that's 100% on point, you know, because you got to have kind of that undying mentality that I'm just going to forge forward and I'm going to figure shit out and I'm going to do it, you know, and figure it out as I can, you know, to the best of my
dude. So I'm looking at his page, to AT Industries, and Andrew Weatherall has a podcast, his NTS radio show. And are you queuing up mine?
I'm sorry.
No.
Queuing up your thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but listen,
sounds good.
Andrew Weatherall, he's got this NTS show, and he's played 5 of the tracks. It says,
wow.
He's played 5 AT.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Plays 5 AT industry tracks on the latest NTS on one show. He plays 5. I mean, that's huge, dude. I mean, this page is really good. It's 8D Industries on Facebook. Be sure to like it.
8D Industries. Go like it, the page. It's so simple.
It is
just
awesome.
Go like it. Stay in the loop of what local Orlando legend is doing. And again,
I need to reconnect with his older shit.
The big thing that we're doing, dude, with Season 9er is reconnecting with people.
Yeah, we are.
We've interviewed people over the past, 8-9 years where it's like, hey, let's actually get back with you. And
you know whose birthday is today?
It's been 5 years since I spoke with him.
Today is Kyoki's birthday. We should reconnect with him this year.
Oh, we should.
You know?
Yeah, we give him a call.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So
we'll do that.
And it's his happy birthday, Kyoki.
There you go.
He was a great guest. I mean, he really was a good guest on here. Do you remember that?
Oh,
and then he came out to the Under the Influence, and then he he goes, this is a song. He told like a minute-long story. All right. And
he was done.
Yeah, but I mean, he came
all that way,
came all this way just to the great.
Under the Influence. That thing was so cool. And now, you know what? I love what you've done with the Yacht Rock at Maxine's, and you're bringing some cool stuff. So, I mean, maybe even that Under the Influence could kind of come back in one shape, way, form, or another.
I think so.
At any rate, point being, this is time for Reverend's Revelations.
Okay. Let me tell you something about this one. I'm really excited about this one because this was originally done. Everybody that has anything to do with this song has been in studio with us or on our show.
Really?
Yep. For
Okay.
real. So Joe Livingston, it's his track.
Okay.
All right. And the
Joe with Aloma Recording.
Aloma Recordings. That's right. Joe Livingston. He's back in Philly. We're working on a track.
Really?
Yes, we are. And check this out. You're hearing it first, by the way. Joe's actually going to be flying here probably before the end of the year, and we're going to finish up that track together.
Really?
And we've been doing this for. He's come over to my house 3 or 4 times, and I've got like all kinds of different instruments. And I'm talking really weird instruments that I have in my house,
unique,
and we've done some awesome recordings.
Stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, and
wow, that's great.
So, but this is a track that Joe did, and he got quite a bit of press on this as well. Or not quite a bit of press. He got a great review, and actually he's gotten some press. But
on this track, okay.
And the 2 people that actually remix this are both here in Orlando, but it's both Tommy Mott, and Vilo.
Yeah. Vio.
Yeah, and they both have been on the show.
They have.
Yeah. So the name of this track is Where You At? I think.
Where Are You?
Where Are You? And they actually where it's very Netzereb to me.
Nice. Okay, so it's got like that industrial kind of hard
total industrial.
Okay,
it's a great. I'm not just doing this because all 3 of them have been on the show. I mean, it helps, but the song is really it sounds like this came out in probably 90, 91.
Okay,
and it's definitely it's got a very Netzereb feel to it.
All right.
So this being said, this is Joe Livingston. remix. What mix does it say it is?
Where Are You, Mott and Vio Panic Remix.
Panic Remix. So this is the Panic Remix of Where Are You? And this is Mott's voice, by the way. JB Rev Show. Revelation.
WJBW.
You don't want this.
The electronics are so predominant that people would really prefer that.
That's right. They would prefer that shit. You listen to JB Rove Show? For some reason, my microphone, there we go, is better. Why would you adjust my microphone when we go to that?
I'm so sorry.
You never even need to touch that
We
anymore.
had to come down because
you're streaming
we were
it.
streaming that from
Okay.
SoundCloud.
Let's just slide this down.
So we'll be posting that link up.
So wait, that's
to the
Joe
SoundCloud.
Livingston. And that's my Reverend's Revelation, Joe Livingston's Where Are You by Tommy Mott and Velo. It's their remix, the Panic remix.
Yeah.
But the original is really good as well. And like I said, I'm looking forward to finishing up a track. You know what? I might even gear it maybe towards, because the way that I like my sounds is kind of like the 8D kind of sound. You know what I mean? Very unique and very melodic, spooky at times, if you will.
Yeah.
Not so straight beat or, whatever.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, dude, I just
I think everybody's got different musical
absolutely.
tastes, so when we have the opportunity to kind of give you a broad spectrum, and that's what we try to do with the Circadian Cast, give you a relatively broad spectrum of different sounds all in one episode. If you get used to consuming music like that, I think it's good for you because your brain goes all kinds of places when you hear all kinds of different music, and that's somebody said made a post like, Dave Matthews song, I hate that, or whatever it is. And there are songs that get under your skin.
Totally.
Right? But to some people...
And artists.
Yeah, but to some people, those songs are like, gold. So the beautiful thing is that those people can actually feel that sensation.
But I got to say, if I'm at a party and I'm trying to get to know someone and, I ask them, who are some of your influences? And they come out with Nickelback and Creed and, shit like that. I mean, it just makes me, I actually just gravitate away from them, because, it's just, what's that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I understand.
And
you're just like, okay.
And I'll tell you why too, because a lot of people, I'm so not into sports at all.
Right.
Not any of it. I certainly don't watch it. I mean, I can't even tell you last time I watched a football game.
A sports ball game.
Yeah. And that being said, people that, come at me and start talking to me about, NFL or whatever, I just I absolutely gravitate away from them.
You say, yes, I like
I don't,
the football.
And I really like to say, I don't watch sports, and some of the reactions I get, especially if I'm at a sports bar, it's just like,
I'm like, what are you doing
fucking
here?
Alien.
What is your life all about?
Yeah,
but
and I'm like,
I totally identify with what you're saying because I couldn't imagine living the other way. Like, I'm not a sports nut. I don't follow that crap. Like, I'll watch games if they're on, if it just so is convenient. And it's like a big playoff game. I like those, but
I'm not into that at all. I mean, I've been to a couple of Super Bowl parties, but even then, there's so much going on at the party that I don't even watch the game. I'm watching the halftime show,
Right.
And I'd rather see a wardrobe malfunction than a touchdown.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
All right then.
Gotcha.
Okay.
New speakers.
Hey, oh my God, dude!
Let's talk about your speakers.
I'm just I happen to be at the right place at the right time. This is a great story though. So last week, in my job, I go to people's homes, and I go to very nice homes.
Okay.
Like they're, I'm working Lake Marion and Sanford.
Okay.
So I'm going to like Alaqua and Heathrow Woods and Lake Forest and blah, blah, blah.
Super nice.
Really nice. Bell
communities.
Forest. You they're all gated.
Sure.
And, I go into these homes and, I basically talk to the people, and I'm not a salesman. I just whatever.
You kind of give them boots on the ground, insight into their property, weak points,
right.
high points.
Let's just say I do a home inspection, all right, and for a realty company.
Okay.
All right, but anyways, I go into
Real
each and every
inspector.
room,
Yep.
and I happened to go in this one room at this one home.
Okay.
And there was these stacked. There was 4 of them, and then there was a big subwoofer, Boston Acoustics, right?
Okay.
And they were just beautiful looking, all black, and they look brand new. So it was a retired couple's home, and I went back out into the living room where they were on the same couch, on opposite ends of the couch. The man was reading a newspaper. The woman was sitting there knitting, right? I mean, it was like, almost a Norman Rockwell
You're being
thing.
set up.
And so I said, "Hey, I noticed you got these speakers over in the spare room.
you guys rocking?
What are your plans with that?" And the man's, because oh man, I've been wanting to sell those for a while now. He's just like, I need to get around to that. And I pull out my wallet and I go, well, I only have and I'm counting my money. I'm like, I only have $160 here. I said, I'm sure that's not even close. He goes, yeah, no, that's not even the ballpark. I said, well, I'm a DJ and blah blah blah.
Okay.
And I said, no worries. I just, thought I'd throw that out there. He's like, yeah, okay. So then I go and I finish my inspection. I go to the other, I do a couple of the rooms, and then I'm coming into the living room where they're at to finish the inspection in the living room. And the lady goes, or actually the man says to me, he goes, so you wouldn't be able to take those with you now, right? And he's shaking his head like, right? Like, kind of like, you wouldn't be able to take those with you right now.
Discouraging you from doing it. Yeah.
And I go, yeah, no, I can totally take those right now. And the woman goes, sold.
Oh my God!
And then she puts her hand out. She puts her hand out like this. So I'm like, okay. So I pull out my wallet, and I'm like,
and you're like,
I actually had $200 on me, but I was like, it's still like,
say it on the roar broadcasting this.
So and I'm like, all right, so here's 160.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, let me go. Start grabbing it, and they're heavy.
Yeah, of course.
Because 4 of them are like 3 foot tall, and they're Boston acoustics.
Oh, dude,
right, dude. And I knew that because I started off. I saved it for the story, but I go, so what's up with these Boston acoustics back there? Yeah. And he's like, so
okay.
I take it out. Wait, here. This is the best part of the story, dude.
Okay.
So we're going out, and I'm carrying them out to the garage. They're freaking heavy, dude. And I'm like, hey, could you have like a sheet or something I can put in the bed of this truck? Because I have a truck,
right?
And it's completely empty in the back, but it's got some metal. And he's like, yeah. So because I said I don't want to scratch them. I mean, these things are beautiful. And he goes, I go, do you mind if I ask how when did you get these? He goes, I bought these 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and he's
That's
like,
great.
And he goes, that subwoofer has been on one time, and he goes, and my wife hated it. And so it's only been on once. Actually, I didn't even have the plug for it. They didn't even know where the plug was because it was all unplugged.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. And then, so, I'm loading them in. And then the last thing I said to him, I go, so do you mind? I mean, how much did you pay for these? And he looks at me with this dreaded look, and he puts his head down, like looks at the ground. He goes, $3,000. Oh my God. And I was like, whoa. And he's like, whoa. Yeah, you were at the right place at the right time. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and then he goes like this. He goes, now get the fuck out of here. He was so mad, dude. Yeah. He was so mad. But get this guy
out of here. The wife.
So what I said to him after that? I said
social awkwardness.
I did tell him. I said, listen, if it makes you feel any better, I said these are going to a good home. I'm not going to flip these or sell them. I said these are mine, and I'm like, I thank you so much. And he's like, yeah. No. He's like, you're at the right place at the right time.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, good. Yeah. All right. Well,
so you need to come over soon because you've been to my house before. And it was badass, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, so now my receiver could only go up to 60, goes all the way up to 80, and there's not one clip. It's so crystal, and it's like...
That sounds great. I bet your neighbors love you.
Oh, my God. And now I've got 2 subwoofers set up, too. So because I still have that one huge one, and then...
Vibrations in the middle.
Dude, yeah, it's like the Maxwell cassette tape. Mm-hmm. With who's do you know what Adam talking about? Where he's sitting in the couch and his hair's blowing back.
Blows his hair away.
Do you know who that is?
No.
By the way, this is a great fact. That is Peter Murphy.
Is it really?
That's sitting in that couch. That's right, or in that love seat. Anyways, it's late. It's 8:52. I got to get the hell up out of here. Inspect some homes tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I guess.
Burp. Okay, yeah, good, nice.
Was that what you're doing? Okay, so real estate inspector, thank you.
Yes, sir. That's what
that was a fascinating story. Hey. Let me bump to a track. We'll come back and do some breaking news badly. The Reverend cutting out of here. Yeah, we'll see you in a bit. All right,
good times.
Be right back
with
times. Some news.
Brother, give me your hand. Your feet may fail. Your feet may fail. Brother, give me your hand. Your feet may fail. You know bring you here, and I know that you know what the rest entails. Make your mind up tonight, 'cause at first life we sail. Yes, and all you have is a hammer. Yes, and Jericho's wall came tumbling down. Yes, and Jericho's wall came tumbling down. Now you're crashed to the rails, and your destined to fail, because all you have is a hammer. The whole world is a nail. The whole world is a
But I did find something out, man. I kind of, being in that Center for Drug-Free Living, I met all kinds of people.
Okay.
And one of these things, it's like a business I think my mama should start out, and it's called Duber. Because there's, well, you heard of Uber, right? Uber is
Okay.
Uber is like this car rental place where if you're too drunk, you call Uber. They come get you up. You're safe.
Yeah.
Well, there's this new drug thing, man. It's called Duber.
Okay.
And it's like you rent your car
What is
out.
that?
You take your car. You give the keys to the.
You have a car. You have to have a car.
You have to have
Okay.
a car, man.
You have to have a car to give for what?
Yeah, even a motorcycle will do.
Okay.
Any kind of moving vehicle.
Any Duber.
Any
called.
Duber. It's
Duber.com.
called Duber.
Okay.
Yeah,
Duber.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And they do not do any background checks.
No background checks. No.
No
Okay.
drug testing.
Of course
nothing.
not. No.
Of course, because that would
what
kind
does
of.
it do? Because it sounds dubious.
Well,
Duber
it's Duber.
sounds dubious.
It's Duber, man.
What
it's
does
dubious.
it do?
Well, you give your keys to the drug dealers, right? And then you give them your car, and then they rent your car out for a whole day from you, man, like maybe 8-10 hours. And how they pay you is with the drug. What? They pay you with the drug of your choice, like crack, heroin, cocaine, marijuana. And it's just a way to keep it clean, keep it off the streets, except for your car. But the only downside to Duber is not getting your car back.
Right.
WJBW, Orlando, Florida. The first quasi-radio web show.
Wow. Yeah.
And now, breaking news badly.
Turn that down. Oh, my God. Breaking news badly. Brought to you by PocasHottest.com. We're going to make commercials for all of our sponsors. PocasHottest.com, though. Go get yourself some damn hot sauce if you have not already. And you could do it at Lucky's Market. Oh, my God. I just did it the other day, and it was amazing.
What are we talking about? Let's pick another topic.
Wow. What's happening? Oh,
Noise, what?
Live in Vienna.
Drums? Trump! Holy shit.
He's doing an improv bit
Fuck Donald Trump!
in Vienna.
Fuck Donald Trump!
It's a
Yo,
DJ
fuck
music
Donald
producer
Trump.
like karaoke.
Fuck Donald Trump, baby! Fuck Donald Trump!
Uh-oh.
Fuck Donald Trump, baby! Fuck Donald Trump, baby! Fuck Donald Trump, baby! Fuck Donald Trump, baby!
Oh, now he's
Fuck
looping
Donald
his own
Trump,
voice,
baby. Fuck
bringing in some
Donald
beats.
Trump, baby.
Okay.
Fuck Donald Trump,
There you
baby.
go.
Fuck
You get the
Donald
idea.
Trump, baby.
Okay. You get the idea. I guess there you go. Okay, so that was a quick opening. Thanks for that. That was really more sabotage. VT.co. Is that right? New research reveals men spend 7 hours a year hiding in the bathroom for peace and quiet. Interesting article there. May also apply to women, some women as well. Here's a list from moneywise.com. These chain restaurants will be the next to go under Howard Johnson's. There you go. Planet Hollywood. All right, what you got next? Okay, Roy Rogers. Are those still around? Okay. And Baja Fresh. Okay. And another one you don't see. Big Boy. Frisch's Big Boy. Wow. There you go. Okay. What else you got? Tony Roma's. Oh, my God. Anyway, the list is at moneywise.com. You can go check it out yourself. There you go. Police. 75-year-old woman shot grandson for putting cup of tea on the furniture. It was from wesh.com. And apparently, this is not even in Orlando. Brooklyn Center. What is that? Minneapolis? Brooklyn Center. All right. Minnesota woman is facing assault charges after police say she shot her grandson for putting a cup of tea on his furniture. I don't know. That's crazy. Tough love. Yeah, but give me a break. That's damn. That's crazy tough love. Anyway. Time magazine. So this is legit. China plans to launch an artificial moon to light up the night skies. There's a lot of speculation that this is really just a huge surveillance device, but there you go. That's what it is. Hashtag breaking news badly. You can post out there on the internet with that hashtag and post the story. Florida elections, the one race where I won't cast a ballot this year. This is commentary from Scott Maxwell on OrlandoSentinel.com. Read that article. Basically, 10,000-foot view is that he has not convinced that either candidate is going to open themselves up for peer review of the sheriff's activities of the community. So this is something long accepted. And now it's like, okay, we're going to be just totally autonomous of accountability. So interesting article there. Anyway, okay, what? Go on. Hold on. Florida elections. Oh, yeah, I just read that. What two sources do you get most of your news from? So this is a friend of mine, Parker Sketch. He posted this, and I thought some of the interesting responses, NPR and BBC is one of them. NPR and The Atlantic, NPR and BBC, BBC, ABC and Fox, someone says, PBS, someone says, AP and BBC, and BBC World Service, NPR. So very much on the nose of NPR being kind of the best source for you to get some news from. Anyway, so let me go down here. Hold on. I think that's all of my stuff. No. Your Guide to the Florida Constitutional Amendments in plain English. I guess we'll post that on the page. And there you go. So, new cannabis capsule is so powerful it may completely replace all painkillers. This is from a little bit of a holistic site. It's ehealthcare.cc. All right. There you go. What do you got for me? Anything inspiring? Anything? Nothing?
I'm just a degular smuggler girl from the Bronx. What's up? My name is Cardi B. Yeah, what? I'm from the Bronx. You know who I am. Girl. I'm classy. But I could be classy-er.
5 pieces of advice. The place which changes people's lives.
My name is Jim Jackson. I'm a professional artist. But more than that, I'm a soldier of love, and that's my real job. Don't let fear and doubt rob you of your dreams. Because fear and doubt will rob you of your dreams, and you'll be laying on your deathbed crying like a baby, wishing you could go back and live your life over again and do the things that you know damn well you wanted to do.
There you go.
But we're too afraid to do them.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to cut you off there. That's Jim Jackson. That's some great stuff. So there you go. Hashtag breaking news badly, as we like to do each week. PocasHottest.com. You can buy that at Lucky's now on Goldenrod University. Go there, buy that. It's hot sauce. And ShannonHoltArt.com. Business events. commercial photo shoots, all these kind of things fall into ShannonHoltArt.com. Capabilities. Infotainment.com. Upgrade your domestic radio to a factory navigation radio. The Modern Music Movement. Ear Theater. Orlando City Smoke Shop. Dank Orlando City Smoke Shop. Kush Ultra Lounge. And BadassSandwiches.com. Thank you. Love and respect each other. See you on the next thing we do, which will be not next week. We're taking off, in case you missed that. Anyway, there you go. Next week, we're taking off. Happy Halloween. See you in November.
Round full of crap.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show.